Alright, ladies and gentlemen, turn 11. I know there's no sound from the game, no music or anything. I'm doing this in a real hurry, otherwise I would stop to fix that, but it's just a setting issue. In any case, Mayfelheim has sent us a threat. Good for them. I will face a tide of ice, winter is coming, night is long, etc., etc. I didn't find any magic sites. 2 battles in Fanligia and Black Alps. So in Fanligia, we've got our... I think this is the largest army we've yet assembled, actually. This is 2 expansion parties combined of Sporznyol and Hirohisa's groups, and they just run all over this little gang here. It's no contest. They just get the hell beaten out of them. No casualties, no problem. I did lose 1 Goblin Cavalry, actually. And then in Black Alps, we wiped out a whole bunch of Wolf Tribe independents, no trouble. Moose Knights are just good. They're just really, really solid units. Kopos, we see Thriceborn actually lose because their coat checker got murdered. And so their Raven Clubbers all retreated and they were unsuccessful. Good on them. I could go over there and take that province, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to stick here and leave that province for either Thagartha or potentially Thriceborn to take. Should be good. So Masafumi here is going to grab Carrion Meyer and then head back, and he can hit Tunnels of the Lost on his way back home. Right now we've got 7 units here, 6 Troll Moose Knights. Next turn we'll grab our Troll King and another 5 Moose Knights plus a Troll, so that'll be another pretty significant army actually. Over here, I am worried about this. Obarak here is building a giant palisade. He may be about to be interrupted. Jesse Pinkman, I'm not sure where he's planning to go, but he may well be planning to come down here, interrupt this, destroy that fort under construction. I am building a giant palisade right now here in Ultima Delca, which I should still be able to defend against this group. Hopefully. If they come down here, then this army won't be able to stop them because it'll be over here in Mayfelheim. But if they come over that way, then I'll be able to get back or bring troops down from here up or something. I just really don't want this palisade to be interrupted as well. I may grab some mercenaries. Who will be available next turn? Well, not sure, but I may, if necessary, next turn, grab some mercenaries and pump up the province defense here in order to stop this army from taking Ultima Delca. But the main news here, of course, is that I'm launching both of these guys into attack Mayfelheim itself and lock the fort down. I'm kind of hoping, actually, that this Nifl Jarl comes back to try and defend, because I think, as I said before, I think my Moose Knights will beat up a Nifl Jarl. I can't guarantee it, because they may get frozen. I mean, Nifl Jarls have a huge, huge chill aura, and it's very efficient at locking units down. So, yeah, he may be able to freeze these guys and just work his way through them very slowly. I'm not sure. But on the one hand, there's the possibility that if he brings out all of his defenders, will actually kill all the rest of the units at HP route the Nifl Jarl. Or if not, if it's just the Nifl Jarl and a few other units, it's very possible that the Troll Moose Knights will do enough damage quickly enough that they'll be able to kill the Jarl before freezing. And that's what I'm thinking and hoping and counting on. So, we'll see how it goes. Even if these troops are destroyed, I do have, like I said, a lot more coming out. And so I should be able to, you know, kind of soldier on and lock things down. But if Jesse Pinkman does destroy these troops, then that will extend the war pretty significantly because I'll kind of lose my, you know, my initial attack force. But I'd really like to lock Mayfelheim down, interrupt his production, ideally prevent income, because I don't think that I can prevent him from getting any income. Let's send Jord over here. Okay, so that is the turn, and I'll see you on turn 12. Alright folks, turn 12. The attack on Mayfelheim unfortunately went wrong, and it's all my fault. Let's watch this battle, and you should be able to see immediately what the problem is. Can you see it? Yeah, here's the problem. All my troops are up front, with my 2 commanders in the back, and my enemy, of course, has flying units, the Ice-clad. That is the problem. All of this, my Troll Moose Knights could have wiped out very easily, and in fact they did. But the Ice-clad, while they were absolutely crushing their way through the Giants, the Ice-clad jumped into the back and attacked my commanders. Now, Sporznyal survived, but he broke after taking a lot of damage. He was down to 1 hit point, and routed. And when he routed, that routed the rest of the army. So, all of my Troll Moose Knights and everything ran. I mean, they absolutely crushed their way through everything they fought. You may notice, if you go to the back, there's nothing left. Just Walter White the Prophet. Everyone else is dead. I was within inches of winning the battle. But I broke. So, when I broke, all of my troops retreated. You can see my Troll Moose Knights just clubbed their way through fucking everything. It was no contest. They took no casualties. However, my retreat had been cut. So, the entire army was immediately lost. That's a big shame. That's a problem. It's not disaster, because I have other armies already coming out. But it is a problem, and I don't like it. You can see here, we lost 1 Moose Knight taking Carrion Mire, but we have captured it. And in Jaburnia, this Nifl Jarl, Jesse Pinkman, attacked and took over my territory. Now, Jesse Pinkman is ungeared except for a black steel plate. His protection is very high, because of course he has Ice Protection 3. That said, that high protection is still not enough to save him from trolls. Now, he does have the 19 Chill Aura, which is very strong. But like I said, I still think I can take him. I still think I can beat him. I don't think it'll be a huge problem. The Ice-clad have 21 protection, but once again, my trolls just hit so hard. It's really, I don't think, going to be a huge issue. You can see the huge amount of fatigue that Chill Aura gives, by the way. I mean, it really does fatigue people out very quickly. But I think that, like I said, I think the trolls can just tank their way through it. I lost Fenlikia just to a little raiding party of Apuskispes. Over here, building this palisade, I have 11 province defense in it. I'm moving more troops out. Mithelheim has contacted me trying to make peace, which I have rejected. I'm fine with fighting them. Like I said, I'm incredibly confident in the superiority of my troops. So the only thing that I'm at all worried about, actually, is potentially Nifl Jarls. But even them, I don't think is going to be a huge problem. So, we've got these 7 Ice-clad plus a Nifl Jarl coming down over here. I don't know where they're going exactly. These 2 guys might come to raid Ultima Delca, and this army might come to attack Ultima Delca. So I'm moving Ratheldwin up to Ultima Delca to support. I don't think this army will be enough to hold off 40 units. I think they'll be able to paralyze 3 Moose Knights pretty effectively, but it may be able to hold them off. If not, I can, of course, always retreat. That will require abandoning my giant palisade, unfortunately. But I still think I can recover and win, just because I can spend so many resources on troops just through my capital with the Moose Knights and the standard trolls. And of course I can shift over to standard trolls. That's no trouble. They actually hit slightly harder per hit, but they get fewer hits and they hit less often, of course. So, overall I would prefer to keep using Moose Knights. I may kind of mix them a little bit, maybe, save a little bit of money that way. But I think I can win this battle on a troop basis. No real trouble. I do have my first Troll King out, Tjodulf. And Tjodulf has a large and powerful army, actually. We're going to... yeah, so he's got 10 guys. He's got 4 bodyguards, 2 trolls, 2 troll moose knights. Plus, of course, he himself is very hard to kill. 7 points of regeneration, 24 protection. His head protection and body protection are both quite high, so he is not vulnerable to being sniped by flyers in the same way. And, of course, he hits so hard, he can crush through their protection and kill them without any real trouble. He's set to attack. He's set to just go into combat. And with that force, he will absolutely, I think, be able to destroy Jesse Pinkman and wipe out his Ice-clads, no real trouble. This force is kind of just defensive. This little army, Masafumi, is going to need to come back as quickly as possible, and I'm going to need to swap Masafumi out with a Troll King, because I need to have tough, unassassinatable commanders. Actually, I think Masafumi... how injured are they? Well, a lot of them are cursed. Battle Fright, Dementia, yeah, that doesn't bother me. What do you got? Lost an Eye. Okay, this army I think is going to attack Desert of Visions. I think they should be able to take it. We'll see. But I'm pretty confident about Mithelheim, and especially because, as I said, I've talked to another player about coming in behind Mithelheim. I think we'll be able to crush him fairly effectively. It may be a long and grindy battle, unfortunately, but Like I said, hopefully I can have it done by the end of by year 2, turn 24. That would be ideal. I don't know that I'm going to make it, but I think I can, at the very least, hold him kind of along this line and then push back. Just because I think I have the tools. I think I have the tools to win. Now, what I do want to do, however, is I want to recruit at least one Ulm Sage and get some real basic cold resistance gear. The Ring of Frost, something like that. After my second Troll King comes out, I'll pop out an Ulm Sage, forge a little bit of that gear so that I have units that can go mano a mano with the Nifl Jarls. And as long as I can do that, then I'm very confident that I'll be able to win this fight, because really the Nifl Jarls are his only ace in the hole. Troop-wise, he can't stop me. He can't compete with the Moose Knights. The Ice Guard, the Great Ulms, it's a good combo, but it just doesn't have the same kind of concentration of force as the Moose Knights have. So I'm quite confident, really, that I'll be able to win those kinds of fights. And Iceclad are just not very good troops. I mean, they're incredibly resource intensive. They do have high prot, 21 in cold 3, but still, it's just I just don't think it's enough. Same with the Ice Guard. The Ice Guard have tons of prot, like 24 in cold 3, I think. But he was relying. This is pretty much a late game leaning nation. He was relying on having a lot of time to build up powerful magic. His High Seraphs are slow to recruit. His Scrati are slow to recruit. His Nifl Jarls are slow to recruit and hugely expensive. Adepts of the Iron Order are slow to recruit, so he's got tons and tons of slow to recruit mages. The only mages he has that aren't slow to recruit are not super strong. I mean, they're efficient in terms of money, but they're not incredibly strong. The Warrior Smiths, the Vanarusian Sages, the Kalamukas. Kalamukas aren't even particularly efficient, although they are reanimators, which is nice. But I just don't think he's going to be able to prosecute a real early war like this as effectively as I can just by slamming out trollish units and rushing with them. So, that is the goal. He made me an offer to kind of return to the status quo antebellum, but he's making that offer because he knows he can't win this war. In my opinion, anyway. So, you know what? Like I said, we're gonna let it roll at least for a few turns, and see how things go. Actually, I think I'll take Tunnels of the Lost with Masafumi first. Claim that throne. My prophet is up here. I'm gonna have him start working his way back. And I do need some more scouts as well. But we'll see. I'm also putting in an order for Gunther Bluekraft's Sonnenkinder, which hopefully I will get here in 60, and they will be able to help defend me. I'm recruiting them this turn because I was worried that somebody else would get them if I didn't. They didn't have any bids on them last turn, which is good, but if I can get them here, them plus the province defense plus 3 Moose Knights should be able to hold off this army, and we can then hopefully finish that palisade and get a second fort up and running, which would be huge. So, in terms of research, evocation level 2 next turn. After that, we're running down thaumaturgy to get some of that astral goodness going on. Well, thaumaturgy level 1 and then down enchantment to get skeletons. Horde of Skeleton Turbo Communions are going to be my mid-game plan. For that, I will, of course, need Troll Sith Barrender, but for right now, don't have time for him. So, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in turn 13. Okay, folks, turn 13. No territory has changed hands since last turn. There was an attempted raid over here, which failed by a single flying duder. However, the enemy army has united. Now, I didn't figure that Jesse Pinkman and his troops could get from here to here, but they did. Jesse Pinkman, I forgot, Giants have a ton of map move, so I guess they moved through there. They must have. I didn't think they could get through a forest like that, but they managed it. So, and if I can check... Yeah, map move 20, so they can get through a friendly forest and a friendly plain in the same turn. Okay, that's fine. So, they've united. I'm moving my forces over here. Once I do that, I'll have a lot of Moose Knights. Like I'm going to say a pretty significant number of Moose Knights. I've got a couple of them set back to guard Tjodulf and Rathelden. I have my Trollfolk Huskarls guarding Rathelden. And then I've got 13 Moose Knights plus a few random Trollfolk Spears launching the attack. So they should be able to still beat this army without too much trouble. And, of course, got more troops coming out this turn. After this, I'm going to have to recruit an Ulm Sage. Now, unfortunately, what happens here will kind of depend If this army, on what this army does, this army might split. It might go straight in and take Ultima Delca from me. If it goes in to take Ultima Delca from me, I can't actually stop that. I don't have, because Tjodolf isn't in position. I thought I would have one more turn. Thought he'd, like, move up there or something, or move back, or what have you. Anyway, I was hoping that I'd be able to get there in time. I can't, so that's fine. Tjodolf is just going to remain a steady force in being and prevent the enemy from being able to operate freely and independently. We've got a whole bunch of dudes over here, and these are the stealthy Bakemono show that I'm recruiting. On top of that, of course, I have Bakemono chiefs, which are themselves stealthy. So I can do some stealthy Raiden shenanigans down here, because I can recruit a whole bunch of Bakemono show every turn. Running out of recruitment points, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of these suckers a turn. 30 of those guys can absolutely fight their way through province defense and do some pretty significant raiding. He's built a palisade, which is unfortunate. I'm losing the fort race because, of course, I lost the province that I was building a fort in here in Jaburnia. So that was sad. But you know what? I will manage. The shipwreckers here. Actually, ooh, I'll tell you what. Shipwreckers are pretty good at fighting giants. Let's bid 221 for the shipwreckers here. He's only got 8 units left, but still, that should be, hopefully, that plus the province defense plus Rathelden's troops might be enough to do it, if at least if this army splits. What I'm hoping is this army will split, fight here and here, and I'll be able to defeat both parts. If they move en masse down to fight Tjodolf, that'll be interesting. I may actually lose that, since he does outnumber me 5-1, but at the very least I'll inflict extremely heavy casualties. And honestly, Tjodolf is going to be a hard nut to crack. He's tough. If they move their entire force over here, then they'll wipe the defenders here out with relatively low casualties. The shipwreckers might kill some. But Tjodolf's army will still be a force in being, and then we'll have a second army coming out. That reminds me, I do have to rename my Troll Kings. Obviously, they can't be Rick Astley, but other similar famous trolls should be, my Troll Kings should bear their glorious names. So I'll do that sometime between now and the next turn. Need to get Thaumaturgy level 1 and then start going down enchantment. That's fine. I also actually need to get alteration level 3. Or even 4, because 4 will give me Temper Flesh. That's going to be really important. So I think it's time to just run down to Alteration level 4, and then we can focus on the Enchantment of Thaumaturgy stuff. The lack of mages is going to be a serious, bordering on critical issue for me soon, but if I can destroy this army, then I'll be in an excellent position, or at least a solid position. So, we'll see where we end up next turn. I'll see you in turn 14. Okay, folks, turn 14. Lots of confusingly, labeled? Lots of confusingly bannered battles. In Nilmeria, Jesse Pinkman went in on my Barbarian Province defense and wiped him out. That is to be expected. Good old Jesse Pinkman here has very, very high prot, and so can fight his way through a lot of Barbarians. Even Barbarians that hit pretty hard don't hit quite hard enough to hurt him a ton. And as you can see, he freezes them very quickly. They're actually... No, yeah, they're not really scoring hits on him. High defense skill, plus all of that. They are all fatigued out after, I think, about 3 rounds of combat, 3 or 4. And so, yeah, they just die because they don't have the number of attacks necessary to hit him, unfortunately. So, Jesse Pinkman wins. Flawless victory. Good on him. Tunnels of the Lost, we took losing 1 Moose Knight. Found a cat charm. In Omicria, we were attacked by a flying raid squad. So Iceclad are really good at this. They're quite tough in cold. They don't do a ton of damage, but they are tough enough that they can jump down, assassinate commanders, and then they can fight through basic province defense like this without really taking damage because their prot is high enough to just ignore the enemy attacks. And then they don't do a whole lot of damage, but it's enough to get through that kind of defense. And then in Miledeep, a somewhat larger and more powerful enemy army ran into the Moose Squad, and the Moose Squad came off victorious. Ice Guard aren't bad at killing moose riders, especially when they're backed up by, of course, these guys paralyzing everyone, but they're not good enough. The Mooses were able to smash their way through the Iceclad, they killed the Eparch, everybody routed, and the Moose Knights chased them off the field. So, in terms of casualties here in Mile Deep, we lost 3 Moose Knights, which is 100 gold, but they lost 14 of their Ice Guard, which is about 200, plus 2 Great Olms, which is another 100, so there's your 300. In addition, they lost an Eparch and an Apus Kispe. So, in terms of money, I won, and of course I won in the sense that I controlled the territory. They may have also lost 1 or 2 more of their people routing, although I think they mainly scattered. But these Great Olms are now isolated and scattered, so I might be able to pick them up if I want to. I'm going to try to pick off these guys. There's just one. I'm launching him Masari with a raiding squadron of Bakemono Sho. Should be able to clear him out. If these Iceclad jump down here, the Bakemono Sho may be able to take him. I'm going to have to script this guy to attack at least for a few rounds just to make sure he doesn't get jumped on by a flying goon squad, but he can try. Iceclad have 18 prot in Cold One or something like that, and 15 pierce from the Yari will actually go through that pretty effectively. So I think the Bakemono Sho should at least inflict casualties on Iceclads. Now, we're bringing our troops up here. We do have mercenaries hired, the Shipwreckers and the Zoninkinta. I'm hoping that he's going to try to collapse Jesse Pinkman and his raiders onto Ultima Delica in order to stop me from building the Palisade, which is really in his interest to do. If he does, I should be able to beat him, because I'll have a total of, 10 Moose Knights attacking, plus 5 more Moose Knights guarding, plus the mercenaries, plus the Shipwreckers, who hit quite hard. So I should, I think, be able to break Jesse Pinkman. And, of course, kill these guys. Now, I have Sure here. I still need to rename my Troll Kings. I still haven't bothered to take the time to do that. I really do need to do it. Attacking with his Troll Moose Knights here. He's moving over to Asanon in case these guys hop south. Asanon would be a good place for them to attack, partially because it has a lone mage in it. And moving over here does keep these guys in position where they can start launching attacks. Otherwise, I would move down to Norantheon. Norantheon would be a place that I really want to protect because it's a lot of income, but I don't think it's going to work that way. And I don't think the province defense here can realistically kill the Iceclads. Like, I could bump the province defense up if I wanted, but it's militia and light infantry. They're not going to accomplish anything. So we're just going to leave it at 6. Sore and his troops could definitely kill these guys if they hit on the right place, but I don't think they can. Essus is going to hop over here, leading his Moose Knights. These guys could potentially jump over to this side. I think if they cross... Well, they may not be able to cross 3 provinces, but they might be able to hop over to this side. I don't know. Jesse Pinkman is bouncing around. He was here last turn, then he skipped over through this way and came down. So he's doing some good raiding, but pretty quickly here, I'm going to be able to accomplish something. I think, actually, Günther Bluecraft should attack. He might die, but his macemen are not going to be hugely valuable in the coming battle. And so we're just going to have them just raid a little bit, see if they can take out Funligia. If not, oh well, not a big loss. This guy with the Sword of Sharpness that does armor-piercing damage and heroic endurance, he will be valuable. He's going to be useful. He may be able to get some damage on Jesse Pinkman if things develop. And we're gonna set him to attack large monster. We're actually going to set all of these guys to attack large enemy monsters. And this squad is going to be on attack large enemy monsters as well. These guys are just attacking. That's fine. You two can just be here. That you guys attack, hold and attack flyers. Okay, so that's the plan. In terms of research, still working on alteration, heading towards alteration level 3 to get Iron Skin, which will be useful. And I think the war against Mithelheim, not sure how it's going to go at this point, to be honest. We'll see. I still hold out hope, especially if I can get random augury to come in against me. The enemy does have 3 forts, albeit none of them are upgraded, so he is, like I said, ahead of me on the fort game, and I'm slowly slipping behind because of this war. But, like I've said a lot, I hate long games, so it's definitely worth trying. And Mithelheim was definitely someone to test my mettle against early. I really didn't want to get stuck. And geographically, it made sense. If I only hadn't lost that, if I'd been smarter about my commanders, I would have been literally besieging Mithelheim right now. But alas, I screwed up. It was totally my own fault. and I'm paying the price for it now. But I think we can recover, come back from this, get our Moose Knights concentrated. Concentration of force is definitely going to benefit me in this war. He's recruiting a bunch of Iceclads over there. Iceclads are good for raiding, but they're terrible for fighting trolls. So, the counter to Iceclads is actually going to be just recruiting either Trollfolk, Huskarls, Moose Knights, Trolls, like whatever. Any of my big, tough units can take them on. I am going to, I think, focus a little bit into getting these Huskarls. 43 recruitment points. I can do that. I can get 5 Moose Knights. I could recruit 6 Moose Knights and 1 Huskarl. I think I'm going to recruit 5 and 3 Huskarls. I think that'll be a decent spread of troops. So, in any case, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in turn 15.